Chapter 22 Yanderes means problems in a world where the line between reality and fantasy fades away, where silence carries a secret and every whisper tells a story. Welcome to The Whisper of the Narrator. Here, tales are not just told, they are lived. Souls are reborn through words of mystery and magic, where fear, passion, and destiny intertwine. Every story you hear here will awaken something within you. So listen closely. The whisper begins now. Are you ready to listen? Chapter 22 Yanderes means problems. Huh? You're married, Victor? Edward spoke as he looked at me with a shocked face. Yes, I answered honestly. Edward's gaze shifted to a look as if I'd made the biggest mistake of my life. Marriage is not a good thing, Victor. But if you're happy, I'm supportive. He spoke while shaking a little. He seemed to remember bad things from the past. Pfft, Andrew started to laugh. I looked at Andrew, who was laughing. Stop laughing! And why did he react that way? I asked. He held back his laugh and said, Oh, you didn't know, right? A few years ago, Andrew tried to marry a woman, but she was the jealous and stalking type, and because of that, he has emotional scars from what happened. I see Edward shiver a little when he hears Andrew talk about what happened. But aren't they the best women? I replied, without understanding. Huh? Meow? Even Zack, who was a little distant, meowed aloud. I looked confused at Andrew and Edward, who were looking at me as if they had seen an exotic creature. Edward puts his hand to his face like he has a headache and asks me, Do you have a head problem? Huh? Now I was the one who didn't understand. From the expression, he's making it obvious that he really doesn't understand his problem, Andrew spoke, as Edward nodded. Wait! Leona suddenly screamed as she looked at Edward and Andrew. Are you just going to ignore that he just said he got married? She spoke as she knocked on the table. Oh, that's true, Edward said. Who is your wife? Do you have a picture of her? Andrew asked, and hearing Andrew's question, Leona and Edward looked at me. I do. Actually, I had pictures of Violet and Sasha. I didn't take these pictures. It seems like Natalia was making a photo album or something. So she took some pictures and sent me to my phone. I never understood this maid. She always seems to be hidden, but when I call her, she always appears. She is like a ghost. I pull out my cell phone and show Violet's photo. Andrew whistled. She's hot. I looked at Andrew with an emotionless expression. Keep talking, and I promise you tomorrow you'll wake up in New York Bay. I bet the fish will love to eat you. I saw Andrew's body shake a little. He replied, It's just a joke, and you wouldn't do it, right? I keep looking at him with an emotionless gaze, right? I saw Andrew's expression darken a little in fear. You know I always keep my promises, I said in a dry tone. To be honest, I wouldn't do that. He's a good friend, and I wouldn't kill my friend just for that. But he would get hit a little. Edward touched Andrew's shoulder and said, Remember the brother's code. Yes, I know, Andrew said in a serious tone. Victor wouldn't dump you in New York Bay, but he would probably hit you. And I think he's more capable of defending himself with his current body. Edward continued. Suddenly, Leona appears in front of me and takes my cell phone. I look at her confused. Then, she flips the image to the side and sees Sasha's photo. "Who is she?" she asked in a neutral tone. "Oh, she's my second wife." My 3 friends look at me with the most shocked face I've ever seen in my life. If this was an anime, I bet their mouths would be on the ground by now. "Hold the balls of the donkey," Andrew practically yelled. He approaches Leona and looks at the image of Sasha on the phone. I see Leona's eyebrow twitch a little in annoyance, but she's silent. I see Edward approaching, and he also sees Sasha's photo. I don't know how to react to that. When did you become a Chad? Edward spoke in a tired tone. I see my cat climbing on Edward's shoulder and looking at Sasha's picture. Then he looks at me and meows as he raises his paw. Meow. He seemed to be praising me or something. Well, wait. Leona looked quite shaken. She looks at me and asks, "Do they know about each other?" "Yes, of course," I replied. "Damn, Victor. You made quite a catch. I never thought I would say that, but I'm proud of you." Edward spoke as he held back the tears from his eyes. Somehow, I could tell he was jealous, but at the same time, he was scared. "Ed, you don't understand. You know our friend here, right? Do you think he's a man to chase after another woman if he's married? He's not me." Andrew practically screamed. "Bruh, you mustn't say that about yourself with pride. Coming to think about it, you're right," Edward said. "Yes, Victor is a very loyal man," Leona said, and the 3 looked at me. "Well, to be honest, they're the ones who came after me," I replied with a happy little smile. "The 3 of them look at me with dead fish eyes," Leona said. "You know you can't marry more than one person in this country, right?" "I know." I nod my head in agreement. But human law means nothing to vampires. Question. Andrew raised his hand like he was a child who wanted to ask the teacher a question. "What? Do your wives get angry when other women approach you? Do they suddenly have tantrums? Are they very jealous?" I look at Andrew, shocked. "How did you know that?" "Bruh," Andrew replied. He looked at Edward and Leona. "Now everything makes sense." Edward nodded, and he looks at me with a dead fish look. "R.I.P., buddy. I think soon we'll be going to your funeral." "Pa?" "Brother, don't gamble on Victor." Leona spoke irritated. Then she continued, "What if he really dies? Why are you thinking I'm going to die?" I asked as soon all my friends looked at me in shock. Even my cat looked at me. "You're dating 2 Yanderes, buddy," Andrew said. "Yandere?" I questioned the word I didn't know. "Do you remember that pink-haired girl anime that we watched in our teens?" "Oh, I remember. I thought she was pretty at the time. What about her?" I asked. I saw Edward, Leona, and Andrew's faces tremble as they heard my words. "She is a Yandere, I see. And you're saying my wives are just like her? Yes. Isn't that a good thing? I blurted out. After all, I don't know what the word Yandere means, but Violet and Sasha are adorable, and that's all that matters. Sigh, sigh, sigh. The three sighed at the same time, and it looks like they've given up on something. Just don't die, okay? And don't cheat on your wives, or you'll die. I would never do that. Why should I cheat on my wives if I have such beautiful wives? Sigh, if you didn't have a screw loose in your head, you'd be a good man. Leona sighed. Edward looked at his sister with serious eyes. I won't allow it. Absolutely not. You'll never get married while I'm alive. Brother, Leona cried out in embarrassment. There's Edward Siskin, Andrew said, laughing. Siskin? I asked, confused. Leona, Andrew, and Edward looked at me as if I had done something wrong. Andrew says, You're an uncultured man, buddy. We need to sort this out. Huh? Well, don't judge him too much. He's a movie man. I remember his dad likes watching movies. He must have been influenced. Leona helped me. Heretic, Edward said. Coming to think about it, he's only watched 2 animes in his life. Huh? Andrew spoke. Unforgivable, Edward said. It was the one anime with the alien that gets stronger and his hair changes color, and the pink-haired Yanderes anime, Leona said. Yes, I remember you recommended it to him at the time, Andrew said. Indeed, Leona nodded. Suddenly, my cell phone started ringing. Leona looks at my cell phone and says, Kaguya? Oh, she's my wife's maid. Maid? Leona spoke in a stutter. I hold out my hand, and Leona nods as she hands me the cell. I answer my cell phone and start talking to Kaguya. While Victor was on the phone talking to Kaguya, his friends were whispering in a not-so-low voice. Did he just say, maid? Leona spoke. Why are you stuttering? Andrew asked curiously. Idiot. Hiring a maid is expensive. Did you know? Leona spoke. Oh, I didn't know, Andrew said. I think his wife is rich, Edward deduced. Isn't he very lucky? Andrew can't help but speak out loud. Leona and Edward look at Andrew confused. Andrew begins to explain. He married 2 wives, and one of those wives is rich, and both wives are beautiful. Oh, you're right, but it's not all flowers. They're Yanderes, you know. He could die at any time, Edward explained as he shivered a little. I think Victor will be fine, Leona said. Now that she was calmer, she could think better about the whole situation. What do you mean? Edward asked. Remember how Victor's personality is? He may not realize it, but he knows how to treat a woman well. I think his mother's teachings influenced him without him realizing it, and he became a natural playboy. Leona would never say that the head pats Victor gave were good too. She would never speak it out loud. Never. And he doesn't refuse Yandere's advances. So I think he's safe? The protagonists only die in the anime because he refused women's advances. After all, most of these protagonists were beta men, Leona said. You're right, Andrew said. Victor likes crazy women, huh? Edward spoke out loud. He looked confused. Just in case, I'll keep in touch with a friend of mine from the police. After all, stalking is a criminal act, Andrew said. Oh, now that I think of it. In real life, the act of stalking someone is a crime, Leona said. Leona, you are watching too many animes, Edward scolded her lightly. Brother, I can't leave the house because of my skin. What do you think I should do? Look for a boyfriend? Absolutely not. I will buy more animes for you. So stay home. Humph! Leona huffed and turned her face away. But Andrew could see she had a smile, as if it was all part of her plan. Victor ended his call and said, I'm going home. I look at Zack and say, Hey, Zack, let's go, buddy. Meow. Zack, who was lying on a chair, gets up, walks slowly towards me, and climbs on my shoulder. Then I put my hand behind to hold him, and he lies down on my shoulder. Are you absolutely sure he's not a dog? Or a monkey? How can a cat be so smart? Leona asked in disbelief. I also see Andrew and Edward nodding. He's normal. He's just used to being that way. After all, I've raised him from a young age, I replied. Leona is silent and decides not to argue anymore. She just sighs, as if she had given up on something. Edward looks at me. What happened? You look happy. Oh, my wife met my other wife today. Because of that, I'm happy, I answered honestly. My 3 friends look at me with dark faces, and I realize Edward was shaking a little too. 2 Yandere will meet. Andrew swallows hard and sighs as he looks at me with respect. How can I say, Victor, you are a man among men? Thanks, I reply, confused. Anyway, I'll see you guys later, I spoke as I turned around. Bye, Victor. Try not to die, buddy. Edward said, Take care of yourself, Victor, Andrew said. He looked like he wasn't going to follow me anymore. Leona didn't say anything. She just waved at me. And so, the whisper fades. But the story never truly ends. Each tale hides within it a new beginning. Perhaps even another life waiting to be told. You've been listening to The Whisper of the Narrator. If this journey touched your soul, don't let it end here. Subscribe, stay, and listen again. For the next whisper will be deeper, darker, and more beautiful.